People are booking airfare all wrong. Be sure to stick around for a blueprint on how you can buy cheap flights in 2019. Woo! Hey, what's good everyone? I'm FamiLei, and on this channel we help each other make intentional financial and lifestyle decisions. So if that floats your boat, hit that subscribe button. Most people want to travel, but people don't want to spend more money than they have to on their plane tickets. Do you want a flight deal for your next trip? Here's how. If you're like most people, here's how you plan your trips. You think about where you want to go, then you think about when you want to go, and then you look up the airfare for that route. Having price as the last thing you look up, it's no wonder that people are spending a ton of money on these flights. In this case, the date and location are already set, and thus you're limited to a certain number of flights competing with a lot of people. So here's what I'm gonna suggest you do. Switch the order. First, look up airfare routes and cheap flights throughout the entire world. Then see what destination actually interests you. Is it Southeast Asia? Is it South America? Is it Europe? Most people are actually fine with a bunch of places to travel to and don't have that I have to go to this country this year mentality. And after you do those two, see if the dates work with you. This is the methodology you want to follow. So with that in mind, the second step is to cross the ocean as cheaply as possible. Expand your search to different airports on each side, your departure and arrival side. If you want to go to Europe, for instance Spain, look up all the airports within Spain. You may be happy, you may not be. Whether you are or not, take a look at flights that get you across the ocean. So for instance, I was looking up flights to Spain and I found that if I flew into Lisbon, Portugal, it would be a couple $100s cheaper than if I flew directly into Spain. And if you're leaving from the US, be sure to check the entire coast because it may be cheaper to fly out of New York than your home city. And though this may take more time, it's very affordable to bus or even fly to New York and then fly to Spain. There's literally hundreds of dollars you could be saving by taking this approach. Another thing to keep in mind is that 2 round-trip tickets may be cheaper than a bunch of one-ways. So say if you're hitting up 2 countries such as Cambodia and Australia, going from the US to Cambodia to Australia back may actually be more expensive than doing US to Australia, Australia, Cambodia, back to Australia, and then back to the US. 2 round trips may be cheaper than 3 one-ways, be sure to check. So here are the cheapest days to fly: Tuesday, Wednesday, Saturday. On the other days, it's typically filled with a bunch of business class people who are purchasing a ton of these flights. The cheapest months to fly are January through May and then September to November. These are non-peak travel months due to school and university. If you're a student like me, you won't have as much flexibility, but there are ways to get around this. As soon as your classes end in May, take off and travel. This also can be said in December. Once you take your final exam, just book it. Spring break differs for every university, so you can still find awesome deals. So when should you book your flights? For a domestic flight, book it 1 month ahead. For international flights, book it at least 2 months ahead. At peak times, such as in the summer or New Year's, add a couple months to this. In the past, airlines would slash their costs if they had extra seats on a plane that weren't filled. But nowadays, they know that it's these business class people who are willing to pay premium dollars to hop on this flight and travel to their destination. So don't wait, you don't want to be competing with these business class individuals. When you're researching and potentially purchasing these flights, keep your browsing private. What I mean by this is to keep your browser in incognito mode. If you're a Windows user, you can press Ctrl-Shift-N and that'll pop up a new incognito window. Don't ask me why I know this. But does it actually keep prices lower and save money? Maybe, maybe not. But it doesn't hurt and it makes you feel better. When you're searching for flights, use multiple flight search engines. Not all flight search engines are made equal. Google Flights is fantastic to explore. You can set the destination to anywhere, which is just smooth butter. Some flight aggregators I recommend are Momondo, Kayak, and Skyscanner. A couple resources that will directly send you flight deals are Scott's Cheap Flights and Airfare Watchdog. Always check out budget airlines such as Spirit, Frontier, Icelandair. These will be way cheaper than other airlines. It's just you'll have a more difficult time if you want a refund to change your flight, and they may have extra fees such as a check-in bag. But if you're set on your time and date of departure and you're only carrying one bag, then these will work just fine. One exception to these flight aggregators is that Southwest Airlines is not on any of these. To search this budget airline, you have to go to southwest.com and search flights there. And here's the list of the biggest budget airlines around the world. This certainly doesn't cover all of it, but this is a great list to start your research. Another tip is to search ticket prices as just one person. Multiple tickets will cost more than buying two individual ones. If you and your friend are traveling and seat A is $20 and seat B is $40, if you purchase both of them, it'll just have both tickets as $40 more for those seats. Or better yet, don't spend money on seats. Of course, use your travel card and rewards points and have those points go towards more travel. I'll recommend a travel card down below in the description box. And if you know me, you know I'm a huge advocate for one carry-on for any trip of any length. I'll be posting a future video on exactly how to do this and what to pack, so be sure to hit the subscribe button and notification bell. And my last tip is that before you book your flights, create an account with that airline. Whether or not you're a frequent flyer, it doesn't hurt to spend 5 minutes to create an account, and you can accumulate points through over like a decade and then get a free flight. It doesn't take that much time and you can get pretty cool rewards out of it. Alright, comment down below on the sweetest airfare deal that you've had. Be sure to like and hit subscribe. Alright, that's all for this video. Peace.
I ever could need is a Sarah B sample with a dope ass beat and